Das folgende Thema heißt Startschuss für eine europäische Mehrwegplattform, also eine europäische Mehrwegplattform. Begrüßen Sie mit mir die Mehrweg-Expertin Anika Oppermann. Liebe Anika, kommt zu uns auf die Bühne. Und Marcel Keuenhof, KIDV, Niederländisches Institut für nachhaltige Verpackung. Eure Bühne.
Danke dir. Well, actually, good morning. We will actually give our presentation in English.
Yes.
And well, do you remember, Marcel, how it all started? That's almost a year. Actually, more than a year
Probably
ago.
more than a year ago, right.
We would like to let you join this brief review of where we actually came from and what's the idea of what we're actually launching today. And with that, I would like to start a question to you, Marcel. Could you tell a little bit about your experience? What have you observed over the last couple of years in terms of reusable packaging developments, especially in new application areas?
Yep. Yeah, so I've been a packaging technologist for 20 plus years, working for the fast-moving consumer goods industry, and lots of projects that I worked on were anything but reusables. Actually, as a packaging technologist in lots of projects, it never was even mentioned. Ever since I started with the Netherlands Institute for Sustainable Packaging, one of the many strategies that we always advise to companies who want to make their packaging more sustainable is also reuse. But as one of the previous speakers said, it's often just brushed aside or considered as not even an option. And this started to eat at us. We started to think, how can we help actually with this transition? Because we do need this. And I will not repeat all the points made by the experts in the room here today and yesterday, but it became clear that we need to help these companies make reusable packaging a reality. So what we did, we started in 2019, a community of practice is what we called it for reusable packaging, bringing experts together, share knowledge, initially just in the Netherlands, but as this grew and became more and more approached by players outside the Netherlands and outside Europe, the realization became that, perhaps we need to create something on a European level.
Yeah, and because both us, but also many other people have been in contact with not dozens, but probably hundreds of new reuse solutions, reuse innovations, what we've already heard yesterday. Could you summarize just for the audience again, what is the potential for reusable packaging, especially in new application areas?
Well, I think, we, especially in this room, we realized in business-to-business applications, transports and logistics, it makes a lot of sense. In fact, if it wouldn't make sense, specifically economically, they wouldn't be around probably. We do tend to overlook the potential for business-to-consumer applications particularly, which is why I think we need to build on the momentum that's there, build on the realization of politics as well, that we need to act. And I'm not even referring to this chaotic year that 2022 has been because of after Corona effects, the war in Ukraine, what this does to supply chains. I'm referring to the extreme summers we're having, so CO2 reduction, reliance on the resources. So for me, as a packaging technologist, as a reuse enthusiast, it makes a lot of sense. All the lines come together, and I don't really understand why more people don't see this and why it's so easily brushed aside. I mean, I can understand that economically it's a lot of hassle, so I can think of lots of reasons not to do it. But there's more and more reasons why we should do it.
Yeah.
This is what we're here to help.
Yeah. So why does it actually, so if there was so much potential and if there were so many innovations and solutions out there, why does it take so long? Why does it take so long to implement and especially scale reusable packaging?
I guess part of the deal, I guess, was that we've had these systems a long time. In business to business and transportation, we still do this. It makes a lot of sense. Back in the past, one of the speakers yesterday mentioned this, when we had a plate and a spoon, we never threw them away because we only had one per person, right? If you go to a restaurant, we have a plate, we don't assume we get our food on a carton board. We get it on a porcelain plate, and we don't think about it for a second that an hour before someone else was eating from it. So somehow we managed, all of us together managed to move to single-use packaging because of convenience, because of cost, right? Plastics obviously played a big role here. And whilst plastic is a fantastic thing, I as a packaging technologist can say that it's a very excellent solution on a lot of fronts, even on a CO2 perspective. Quite often it wins. there is obviously the problem, what do we do with it afterwards? And as some of the speakers before mentioned, recycling is a bit of a myth. You know, I look into this together with the Institute on lots of different levels. We develop what we call recycle checks, so you can actually check how is my packaging doing, how circular is it. There is no 100% recycling, not any material, to be honest. And it's actually a lot less effective than a lot of people think. So circularity, we need different solutions.
So you would say that probably it misses visibility of new solutions and probably guidance and help how to actually start with reusable packaging.
Well, that's
summarize.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's summarizing and building on it. I mean, it's, you know, a lot of these reuse solutions are quite standalone. There's a lot of reinventing of the wheel in different places, different countries. So, you know, again, I think we need to bring this forward. We need together to build also, create awareness, not only in politics, but also with consumers, to say that, you know, we're used to returning the beer bottle, if I refer to the Netherlands. Why not a wine bottle or a glass jar or a cup? And we see these movements from the ground up, you could say, like grassroots developments. Consumers tired of having those single-use cups, bringing their own cup. Why can we not organize this and make it mandatory? And we see this happening, actually.
And so that makes completely sense, and probably to every one of us. Why do we need a European approach on this?
Well, you know, sorry, dear online audience, you haven't heard all the presentations perhaps, but I think yesterday and today this point has been raised over and over, which made us realize, you know, perhaps we are not so strange in our thinking. We've been building this platform because there are so many isolated solutions, because we need to share these learnings and then move faster. I think particularly reuse, we can collaborate, and we should collaborate to, you know, instead of fighting for ourselves, move forward quicker. And that's why I think we created something that would help in this transition and to make this acceleration forward.
Yeah, to build new reuse solutions across Europe, to learn from other initiatives in Europe. And actually, especially the question, why does it take so long and how can we accelerate that transition, was the key question when we first met in summer last year together with other people. And that was actually that was the starting question, how we started thinking about what can we do to accelerate that transition. And Marcel and I, and actually luckily not only the two of us, but together with a great team and more people and collaborators in the background, we've been working on a project which we are very excited to launch today, and actually we're also very proud to be able to launch it today. So also thank you for Jens for giving us the stage for this, because we believe what would help in accelerating that transition is building a European platform, an online network to bring professionals together, to bring reuse solution providers together with service providers, with brands and retailers who want to engage, who want to learn how to actually implement and actually really scale reusable packaging. So that's why we are super excited to launch today Planet Reuse, the first European online platform and network for reusable packaging. And we would like to give you a quick introduction of what this looks like.
Thank you so much, and we're not even ready yet.
So probably you got a little bit of an idea of what this is about, and let's have a look into what kind of users do we actually envision. Hopefully all of you will join afterwards on the platform. And of course, there was different user groups. It's from when you mentioned reuse solutions, service providers, but it's also policymakers in academia. And let's give you a little bit of a couple of examples of how they can actually benefit from the platform, or what we envision how they will probably benefit from the platform. So just as an example, yesterday again I talked to a retailer, and it doesn't matter if it's a drugstore or a do-it-yourself store or a food and beverage retailer. And he has, of course, stationary shops, and also has built an online shop, where, of course, what we already heard yesterday with increasing raw material prices for the packaging, with more awareness that they want to reduce the dependence or the single-use packaging. He's looking for solutions out there for e-commerce to use in this online shop to ship his products. So he could use the platform to screen this database of reuse solutions. But not only that, because what we think is really important is that he is able to connect with the people behind those reuse solutions who are also on the platform, to directly get in touch with them, either directly sending a message or meeting them in a networking session, which we enable or which we facilitate. And once this retailer, for example, starts with piloting, implementing, doing the first steps into reusables, he might want to learn about, okay, how can I actually improve my processes? How can I increase my customer experience or increase my consumer acceptance? And that is also the place in Planet Reuse where we envision exchange of learnings, and especially with other people who have got similar experiences, to see how can we actually improve and scale then reusable packaging as well, to learn from and with each other.
Exactly.
And you've got another example, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, we have so much expertise in this room, and just yesterday we were talking to one of the startups in reusable cups. I'll leave the name out, but you can remember who that was. And there's many of those, right? I mean, Germany, I think, is ahead of the pack in Europe, but we see the same development happening in the Netherlands, for example. You guys have about 3.5 months before a reusable takeaway option is obligatory. I'm not sure you guys are ready. But from the talk that I heard yesterday, 3.5 months is nothing, right? The Netherlands comes 6 months after. I mean, if you guys are not ready, we're certainly not ready. So I think we can learn from one another as countries, as you know, companies rolling out these applications. And if you're a startup and you have 100,000 cups, and all of a sudden it becomes obligatory in 3.5 months' time, you know, mid-December, you're going to get a lot of calls, right? Can you deliver 10 million cups? So how can you do that? So I would imagine, with the knowledge and experience in this room, there could be a lot of learnings that, particularly in the experience from business to business, we can help those startups, you know, not make mistakes, transition quicker and faster. So I'm almost imagining, with the wealth of experience here, to have like a mentor program. In fact, after the show, you can come to me. I'll write down your names, and we'll start collaborating and bring experience together with the startups, with the aim of transitioning faster.
Yeah. And those examples are actually based on real conversations that we have in our daily work almost every day.
Exactly.
But also might be interesting, there were a lot of organizations in Europe on the forefront of reuse and circular economy. So we've also talked to them or asked them to give their perspective, and we would like to show you a little bit of ideas of what they think about Planet Reuse as well. Let's see.
The Stiftung Initiative Mehrweg congratulates Planet Reuse on the important and right step at the right time. We need signposts that shows what the situation is in the individual European countries on reusable issues and what developments are necessary. Bringing all European actors to one table is the necessary measure what we at the Stiftung Initiative Mehrweg from Berlin wholeheartedly support.
When setting up new reuse systems in Europe and further develop existing reuse systems, we need a place to connect cross-border. And I believe Planet Reuse will be this place.
We are very excited about this moment for Planet Reuse to finally launch. We wish them all the best and very much endorse their work. We do believe that scaling reusables at this moment in time is such an important lever for the circular transition, and we are excited about their approach to really build a broad community across Europe of like-minded people who want to accelerate that transition, and we truly believe that can be a game changer.
I'm very happy to support this great initiative that is Planet Reuse, for it is filling a very important gap, in my view, in the awakening of a European reuse ecosystem, such as Zero Waste Europe, DUH and many others have been actively calling for in the last years. We now have a convenient, good-looking platform that offers scalable, one-stop solution to help boost the local solutions and also connect all the great minds behind the ongoing reuse revolution. I wish it all the very best.
So we've got 3 minutes left. What is next, Marcel? Could you share with the audience?
Yeah, I mean, today actually feels like quite an accomplishment, and we will celebrate in time where we're just landing from all this. But actually, this is where it starts, right? We have a platform, there's a technical thing online, you can find solutions, people can meet up, and that's just the beginning. Now we need to facilitate this. We're going to do a community call on the 22nd, I think, where we want to learn from the reuse community, and we have some pretty good ideas, but still, we want to learn from you guys. What priorities do we need to work on? Is it working together on standardization, a topic we hear a lot? Is it, bring forward workshops or webinars on hygiene, cleaning, shared logistics? So there's lots of topics that we know seem to be out there, but we need to build this together.
Yeah.
So working on that is one of the things. We do need to professionalize our organization, and obviously, we stand here, and it's not just the two of us, it's a team behind us, but part of it is some volunteer work, part of it is paid. So we need to work a little bit on professionalizing, which does include funding. And those are some of the next steps I think we need to take in the next 3 to 6 months. And then looking forward, definitely build on what we have.
Yeah. And I think you already mentioned the points that it's about funding. So we really want to show the added value of the platform in the next couple of months, 6 to 12 months. So we're now looking for additional funding because kindly KIDV already financially supported this first phase, and now we're looking for continuation or addition to that so that we can really show the added value. And at the same time, independence is super important for us. So we are actually in the process of founding a foundation in the Netherlands to ensure that this platform stays independent wherever the money in the future will come from. And we envision, also KIDV is paid by this, to pay the platform or to finance the platform through EPR fees from different countries or from different European organizations, yeah, mid to long term. And just to wrap this up, maybe you want to conclude.
Yeah, just 2 seconds building on what you just said. I think a previous speaker mentioned this as well. There is already a tendency, the first country that links EPR organizations, obligating them to spend a percentage of their turnover on reuse, France in this case. So we see this tendency happening. We do have discussions in the Netherlands with our EPR organization, the Dutch Packaging Waste Fund. If reuse is part of their strategy and targets, we have a platform that could help them bring this forward. So, wrapping that up, I basically would like to invite everybody to come have a look on the platform, join, share your knowledge, share the word, and let's build this into something that really drives the topic forward, that helps implement change, not reuse because of reuse, as one of the speakers yesterday said, but because we do see it adds benefit. It is the time to do it. We don't have any luxury. We can't wait much longer. So please join us and help us move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just one quick question for you. We have a very interested audience. Do you have special wishes to our participants? What do you want?
Join the platform, tell your network about it, spread the word.
And support where you can. Whether it be in kind, meaning you bring your knowledge to the table, you help develop the platform, but obviously we are looking for, as you said, a bit of funding perhaps. So anything that could help bring the topic forward, professionalize us, and
yeah.
Okay, a clear and short message. You know what to do. Thank you very much,
Exactly.
both
Thank you very
of you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.